Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the Classics TBR for 2023. That's very exciting, and you will see that it's really different from last year because I'm learning my lessons. One of the last videos that I posted in 2022 was my review of my Classics TBR for 2022. So how did that go? It went all right. Actually, I was quite impressed with how I did. So I had 22 books for 2022. 22 classics is a lot. And I realized that throughout the year, and it was a challenge. It was a really big challenge. And I think I ended up reading 15, technically not all from the list, but still. This year, I'm being kind to myself. I'm being understanding of other things that I have going on in my life, like I'm going back to university. And I've decided to do 6 classics. So hopefully one every 2 months. But I'm also kind of having an understanding in my mind that I'm going to be continuing on with my projects from 2022. So I want to keep reading the Bronte sisters. I want to keep reading Virginia Woolf and the other books that are on my list. So I will keep that in mind. But for the new year, I decided to have 6 titles that I would like to read in 2023. And these are, there's 6. So 3 of them are by authors of color, and 3 of them are classics that I'm potentially revisiting or kind of interesting in an author I've already explored before. So let's start with, I would like to read a collection of haikus, of poetry, by Basho, who is a Japanese author. I think he's the most famous authors of haikus. So I have found a collection called Narrow Roads, and I may kind of tackle that, but I also want to maybe just do a little bit every month, you know what I mean? So this isn't as much as I want to read a book by this person, but I want to kind of just along the year get some of the inspiration and that beauty with me. In second, we have Hawaii's Story by Hawaii's Queen by Liliuokalani. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly, I'm very sorry. But I found this book and I thought it sounded so interesting to kind of learn more about the people from Hawaii and Hawaii's story, basically. And I'm seeing this as not technically a US read, because I guess this was before Hawaii was part of the US. But yes. In third, I have The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende. This is a Chilean classic that I have never read, and I cannot believe that I never have done it. I have a version in French and in English in my library, and I think it's the year that I should tackle it. I really enjoy Allende's writing, actually. I read 2 of her books last year, one's fiction and one non-fiction. And, you know, it's part of, I feel like, my heritage as well, because she talks about Chile, about, you know, how people live there. And I think that's really beautiful when you come from that culture to kind of read these classics from your country. So yeah, I'm very excited for that this year. Then I would like to revisit The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is part of the Lord of the Rings. I am not putting all 3 books because, as I said, I'm learning. So I've only put the first one. I would like to revisit it slowly. The first time I read it, I may have to listen to the audiobook, I'm not sure. But I went in really quickly just to kind of get it done. And I want to just kind of dive into it and immerse myself in it. I think it came from like watching The Rings of Power in, you know, at the end of the year. And while I had some mixed feelings about it, it still was quite inspiring of the world. So I kind of want to do that. And we'll see if I dive into the other volumes of the series, but we'll start with the first one. I would also like to read more of Elizabeth Gaskell. If you know, I really enjoy her writing. I really, really love North and South. And this is one of my favorite books ever, I think. And in October for Victober in 2022, I think it was kind of Gaskell-tober for me, because I think at least 3 or 4 of the things were by her. So I would like to read more of her novels. So I may read Mary Barton or Sylvia's Lovers. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I would like to read one more by her. And I'll see which one, and I'll see if I continue my journey, Elizabeth Gaskell. And finally, my big read of the year. Last year was The Count of Monte Cristo, which I finished, which I think is an accomplishment of its own. But for this year, I've decided to tackle Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This was inspired by my father, actually, who was telling me that I need to read some of the classics in Russian literature, and I was like, oh god. And he said, well, Anna Karenina has a main female character, and I may be interested in that book. So I decided that I may try it, and I may do a very chill buddy read with Nix from Nix Reads, so we'll see how that goes. I'm still trying to get a copy, hopefully like secondhand, from the charity shop, so I'm still kind of foraging for that. But that's it. These are the 6 books that I'm hoping to read in 2023. So as you can tell, I'm sort of learning my lesson. I'm hoping that I will read more than these 6 in terms of classics. But these are 6 that I would really keen to experience. And that's kind of one of the themes of my year. Whenever my video on my 2023 goals come out, you'll see one of my goals is to read things that make me feel good or that I want to read, you know, like very mood reading, and I want to go with the flow and immerse myself and experience things. So that's what I went for with this Classics TBR. What books are you looking forward to reading? Do you have a classic that you're like, oh my god, that's the one huge classic I'm going to read this year? You know, are you looking forward to Victober? Let me know what your plans are. I cannot wait to hear. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And hey, see you back. Bye.